Good day. It's the 19th already of July 2021. Waste, fraud, and abuse, almost synonymous with the United States government. I mean, you see so many examples of that, Afghanistan, a huge example. We've poured trillions of dollars into Afghanistan, billions of dollars to try to eradicate drug trafficking, and there's more drugs coming out of Afghanistan than ever before, and the government's about to collapse. And not to mention thousands of our men and women have been blown up or killed, for nothing. And it can be very disheartening. But, when a government program works, I'm all for it. And what I'm going to put on is a very short video. It's a very recent video on the use of Project Safe Neighborhoods money. Now, if you don't know what that is, the current administration has a proposal. And when I first looked at it, it's just another social program, and the money usually gets stolen by activists in the inner city. It doesn't help anything. I think it's, similar to the DEA program where they're going to go around and project whatever it is, it's essentially a just say no program, which I understand the mechanics of it, but, they've been doing that since I was in school. That was a long time ago. Okay, this one targets violent gang members in the inner city and in suburbs. Now, why would you want to target violent gang members? Number one, they commit a disproportionate amount of crime. Number two, they're often fugitives. Number three, they're involved in drug trafficking. So it's led by the United States Marshals, by bringing the Marshals, DEA, and the state and locals together to target a small group of men, very violent men. You have a program that is actually a success. And you can see the drop in crime. So I'm going to put that on and then I'll talk about it.
Well, as you know, the Marshal Service is the oldest federal law enforcement agency. We've been catching bad guys ever since the OK Corral, rounding up gang members. We've been doing a phenomenal job ever since. Gangs really have evolved to some extent, but in the same respect, they haven't. They all have the same goal. And that's to take advantage of those who have less fortune or in some cases more fortune, but they want to exploit that and take advantage of it to their own benefit. 2010, we came up with the Operation Triple Beam, which we coined one of our gang operation. It really was a multi-agency operation that was facilitated by the Marshal Service. And again, our targets were fugitive gang members. We wanted to get the bad guys off the street. We wanted to obtain the street level intelligence, and we wanted to bridge that gap with our public safety partnership and our safe neighborhoods partners in order to gather intel for a much larger scale criminal investigations. We're running about 18 to 22 operations annually. For example, in FY20, even given the pandemic, we're able to run 18 counter gang operations, over 3,000 arrests, 622 firearms seized, and $1.5 million seized as well from these drug organizations. So you can see how it's come leaps and bounds since 2010. Before we conduct any operation, we do what I call a pre-operational briefing. When we sit down in these, we discuss some of our operational methods, again, some of the resources we have, one being overtime. Manning is always an issue. But if we can bring Marshal Service personnel along with funding for overtime to help support those operations, so those officers are there for that sole purpose and not having to deal with the other factors in policing, it really serves a huge benefit towards that operation. A lot of these officers and deputy marshals never worked together before, so safety is obviously paramount. So we want them to go through 3 to 4 days of tactical training, so they'll learn things from entering a home, how to de-escalate a situation, and some other techniques we use in situations that become extreme or dangerous. But we want them all to know how to work together for that purpose of safety. Obviously in New York City, LA, Chicago, those areas have had gang issues for years and years and years. They have experts, they have the resources, they have the support by their community leaders. And oftentimes they do such a good job, they push a lot of that criminal element out into the suburban areas, even into the country settings, to areas where they're not used to dealing with those types of issues. That's a lot of times when they come to us, we bring that resource or that skill set from those big cities out into the more rural areas and try to help them combat that violent crime and try to disrupt the criminal organizations. But we've worked with DEA, FBI, ATF, BOP, We work with our state partners, our federal partners, our tribal partners, parole, probation, anything we do, any resource we can use to gain intelligence and make that operation more of a success, we will work with them as a partner. The guys in the street running that cruiser, the guys who are doing those investigations, they have firsthand knowledge. They know where we need to focus our efforts. And we are solely dependent on that for the success of these operations. Every agency to the table brings that expertise, and that's what makes it so successful. We depend on that local intelligence. Okay, what areas are being hit harder? Whether it's a white gang, a black gang, a Hispanic gang, we're going to dedicate our resources there. Race has no play within the way we conduct our operations. If you're committing crime and you're affecting communities, plaguing communities with violent crime, disrupting businesses, transportation, governments, then we're going to go after you and we're going to make sure you're held accountable. So when we're conducting these operations, we're going to make sure that the risk is worth the reward. We're not going to put our people at jeopardy, just like we're not going to put the public at risk. If we have a fugitive that we're looking for and his home is next to a school and we have information he's there, but there's thousands of school children in there, we're going to step back, watch it for a while. Safety is always paramount, no matter who or what we're going after. The most rewarding thing of this job is just seeing the statistics post-operation. 3 to 4 months later, when I'm looking at crime analysis and crime reports, and I can see that huge reduction in crime, homicides going down, robberies going down, assaults going down, rapes, what have you. It really makes a huge impact on the communities. I wish I could run an Operation Triple Beam or an Operation Washout in every jurisdiction in the nation, and hopefully actually help eradicate the violent crime, the unnecessary violent crime that we see every day going on in America.
So there you have it. I hope that was useful. I hope it was informative. Again, you know, the individual, the chief inspector was pointing it out. You can see the drop in crime when these people are locked up. It's a very small group of men who commit a lot of our violent crimes. So by locking them up, and a lot of times I think the will is not there with the state prosecutors in Chicago or New York or, you know, these major cities. A lot of the state prosecutors are kind of neo-Marxist. They don't want to lock people up. They think it's, you know, I don't know. They live very protected lives themselves, but, you know, they're very cavalier with other people's safety. But at least the U.S. attorneys, you know, once they get these people locked up, they stay locked up. And as I've said before, these folks are scared of federal court, very much so. So this is a great program. If I was still in law enforcement, you know, I would want to be assigned to one of these task forces as a non-supervisory agent, or even as a supervisory agent. It's a wonderful use of Project Safe Neighborhoods money. So it's Operation Triple Beam or Operation, I think, Whiteout is what they called it. But whatever it is, it works. So hats off to the US Marshals for a program that works. And if you guys have any, you know, you want to send your resumes, I have a new email address, okay? You can still send it to the old one, it's okay. But this one is FLEC, Federal Law Enforcement Careers, FLEC, future, you know, not past like me, future at gmail.com. So no charge. I'll look at it and try to help you in any way that I can, you know. And thank you for watching. Thank you for the kind comments. And, you know, make sure that you stay in shape. I went out running today. It's quite hot here in Virginia, but do your workouts because you want to pass your PT test, and hopefully they're going to open up, you know, with the U.S. Marshals, with the street law enforcement. Not so much, you know, I don't want any more of this Capitol Police stuff. I'm tired of it. I mean, they do need protection, but you know, let's take care of the people in the cities. Let's try to protect their own. The first, you know, order of government is to protect its citizens. Okay, that's what I firmly believe. Not to persecute political enemies. So that's my little speech for the night, and I hope you have a good night.